KQTV St. Joseph. This is KQ2 News at 10.
Some volunteers spent their Saturday morning working to clean up a piece of St. Joe's history. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Amber Smith. One St. Joseph school is putting their teachers' culinary skills to the test. A Clinton County family came back early from vacation to find what once was their living room completely covered in rubble. One local representative is looking to change that with a bill that would require driver's education in the Show Me State. That way, if the lights are to go out, you're prepared. Science on a Saturday, not something you see every day. You can actually play games at this touchscreen table while you eat. For many of us, getting a good night's sleep is nothing more than a dream. Eric Greitens is now the 56th governor of Missouri, and he says it's time to get to work. Representative Mike Moon submitted a bill to the House that, if passed, would establish the Missouri Right to Life Act. Shoppers were busy looking for bargain prices on holiday gifts. I would like to see that, but quite honestly, I don't think I believe the groundhog at all. Pilots weren't the only ones who got to fly high today. Violet was taking it well. I think we were scaring her just a tiny bit with our enthusiasm. Plenty of people were in downtown St. Joseph today watching crews battle the flames.
Smoke rose high in the sky, captivating the attention of many.
It's a huge event. It draws in the whole town.
When crews told employees at Monty Law Firm they needed to evacuate, some people didn't think the fire would get this out of hand.
It's very scary because I thought maybe it may have been like a small fire, but once they said that we had to evacuate the building and we realized that the fire was much bigger than what it was, I was really scared for, my co-workers, all of us, and the fact this is my home, this is where I work at, thinking that, everything could be lost today.
Others watching nearby do not live or work downtown, but know many people who do.
Watching this fire was very tragic because we have a lot of friends down here that own businesses. Some of them live down here as well.
They say it is one thing to see a fire of this magnitude on TV, but it evokes a whole new level of emotion to see it up close and personal.
This is like the first time for me ever being this close to something so serious, so dangerous. When we initially started smelling the smoke, it was very thick. We obviously knew it was a fire. Just feeling the heat from off the fire, it basically told me how intense the fire was.
While the extent of damage to buildings in the area is still unclear, many feel the community can come together to move past this.
It's a tight-knit community. I think everyone's going to get together and help each other out, but it's very, very sad to see this happening.
Christine and I talked with a Missouri prosecutor who says marijuana is still against federal law because it is a dangerous drug with no medicinal value. But I also talked to people with various diseases and their family members who say it could make a big difference in their life. Both sides are passionate about their stance and explain what led them to these beliefs.
A normal night at the Byer household consists of dinner around 6:45. But Harper Goldsby doesn't get to eat pasta with the rest of the family.
He is 6 years old. He has severe progressive epilepsy. He is unable to talk. He cannot walk. There's so many different variations of epilepsy. There will be people that are walking around like you and I that they're able to take pharmaceutical medication and control their seizures, or there's people like Harper who have seizure after seizure all day, every day.
By 7 p.m., it's time for Harper's medications. But despite all the pharmaceuticals,
his quality of life is really poor. He's a very happy guy. He loves his family, loves his sister, loves our pets, loves to go to school, but he does get scared. His seizures scare him, the choking scares him. He turns blue about once a day.
Byer wants to assist her son any way she can.
So it's an undertaking, but I do what I can to help him, but I know that if his seizures were controlled and he did have some help, we wouldn't have to have all of that.
She joined Normal KC, a marijuana advocacy group, a few years ago, where she met Executive Director Jamie Kaz.
We ended up not making the ballot. We just missed out by just a few signatures, and we are going strong and going to try for 2018.
They fell just short of the required amount of signatures needed to end up on Missouri's November ballot, with Missouri prosecutors leading the fight against the initiative.
Here's the biggest problem with trying to legalize marijuana on a statewide basis, and that is it remains illegal under federal law, even though the Obama administration has decided not to enforce those laws.
Due to the Controlled Substances Act of the United States, marijuana is illegal under federal law, but President Barack Obama chooses not to enforce the laws in states that legalized. But
there's going to be a new administration come January. That president may take a very different view of enforcing marijuana laws on a nationwide basis.
However, Zahn's problem with legalizing extends beyond conflicts with federal law.
I believe that marijuana is a dangerous drug. It's absolutely a gateway drug to other drugs as well.
But advocates say
Marijuana can help people get off harder drugs.
Zahn says legalizing it wouldn't help medical patients.
The DEA was asked to reclassify marijuana to move it off of Schedule I just this last year, and they decided not to after reviewing thousands and thousands of studies that show that marijuana simply doesn't have any medicinal value. So this whole idea of medical marijuana is just a myth.
But Kaz couldn't disagree more.
And when I first got involved with cannabis reform, I wasn't even aware of all of the benefits and how many different conditions it could help.
Jennifer Shockley joined Normal KC when her mother passed away from a rare form of cancer.
There was no chemo or radiation that would help her. It's basically a death sentence.
Shockley's mother, a former registered nurse, thought medical cannabis could have improved her end-of-life quality.
Medical cannabis, get on the ballot, get legal in Missouri to be able to help is one of her dying wishes.
And for others like Sarah Campbell, who has multiple sclerosis, she thinks marijuana could serve as a good alternative to her current medication.
That's really a decision that should be between me and my doctor and shouldn't have anything to do with legislation.
As Harper has another seizure, Byer expresses frustration, as the closest thing to marijuana allowed in Missouri is hemp oil, which is technically legal in the state, but difficult to get access to.
There are not any doctors in the Kansas City area and I haven't actually found anyone in Missouri that is willing to help with that.
Byer says she is desperate to find a way to help her son.
He continues to get sicker the older that he gets, and there are tons of children in the U.S. that are in states that medical marijuana has been legalized that are taking the medication, and it's helping them so much. This is a map outlining marijuana laws in the United States. 25 states that you can see in green on this map have legalized medical marijuana. Voters in 3 more states, North Dakota, Arkansas, and Florida, outlined in blue, will decide whether or not to legalize Tuesday during the November election.